about that.
It's showtime.
Welcome to the YATCast. This episode is about impeachment. But first, I'd like to give thanks to all my real life and social media friends who forced me to delve deeper into things to find the underlying cause. They forced me to determine why things are or are not. They forced me to think about things in a way to see what could be or what cannot be. So, let's get started. The mind is a funny thing. As I was exploring doing these webcasts, I started generating a list of topics. I started listing science, history, economics, religion and spirituality, ideology, and others. They came to me in no particular order. I spent several weeks coming up with topics, and when I had quite a few, I started organizing them into related topics. And then into a general sequence that I felt I would do them. As I wrapped up episode 8 and started looking at this episode, I had an epiphany. The first 8 episodes actually lead to this episode. So if you haven't, you should go back and watch them, as they all have a direct bearing upon this one. However, I will do a quick little recap. Our founding documents were written to be understood without the need of a scholar. Our founding fathers said what they meant and meant what they said. Our government is designed to resist oligarchy. Most rights are held by the people. Our first right is equality, meaning no one is above the law. Impeachment is a hot topic these days. What is it, really? I don't mean the definition, which we will get to shortly. In general, it is two things. First, it is reinforcement of our first right, which is equality. And second, it is part of the process woven into our government as a means to maintain checks on certain individuals, which isn't limited to the president. It also includes cabinet positions and federal judges. Before I get into the thick of it, I need to make sure that you understand that all federal elected positions take an oath to the Constitution, period. Not a party, not a business, not a person. Our founding documents make it clear that the people, each and every one of us, are the country, and the people are the government. In effect, they take an oath to serve us, all of us, and not a party or business or individual. The word impeachment appears 6 times in the Constitution. 3 times covering the actual process, once as to how it differs from a regular trial, and 2 times that either reinforce or clarify the other uses. The first is Article 1, Section 2. It states who has the power to impeach. Quote, "The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers, and shall have the power of impeachment." The second, Article 1, Section 3, states who has the authority to try an impeachment. The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. The impeachment clause, Article 2, Section 4, is short and worded simply and states who can be impeached and the reasons they can be impeached. The President, the Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Now let's start with the definition. I've stated that they say what they meant and meant what they said. However, words can change meaning over time, So I will use definitions from a dictionary from that time period. The Webster's Dictionary of 1828. It's the closest I could find online. The first definition of impeachment is an accusation or charge brought against a public officer for maladministration in his office. This is the sole function of the House in the process, to investigate and charge or not certain public officials. Okay, but what is maladministration? Going back to the dictionary, we get, quote, bad management of public affairs, vicious or defective conduct in administration, or the performance of official duties, particularly of executive and ministerial duties prescribed by law. Close quote. This would include breaking the public trust, violation of the oath to the Constitution, not performing their duties equitably for all the people, being brutal or mean to any segment of the population, and breaking any law, among other things. You see, it isn't limited to just violations of law. It includes a lack of character. Why would they include this? They felt that those to which impeachment applies should be of the highest character and have the highest of morals. Simple. Now, let's explore some other definitions. Treason is, quote, in general, the offense of attempting to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or of betraying the state into the hands of a foreign power, close quote. Bribery. It is defined as the act or practice of giving or taking rewards for corrupt practices, the act of paying or receiving a reward for false judgment or testimony, or for the performance of that which is known to be illegal or unjust. Note the word unjust. The phrase high crime does not appear in a dictionary, so we will have to break it down. High, as defined in 1828, has 35 definitions, which most are irrelevant. Of note are definitions 13 and 34. Definition 13 means violent, severe, oppressive. And 34, which says great, capital, committed against the king, sovereign, or state. Since we're not a kingdom, don't have a king, the first two don't apply, just the state. Crime is defined as follows, quote, an act which violates a law, divine or human, an act which violates a rule of moral duty, an offense against the laws of right prescribed by God or man, or against any rule of duty plainly implied in those laws. A crime may consist in omission or neglect, as well as in commission or positive transgression, close quote. And, quote, any great wickedness, iniquity, wrong, close quote. Misdemeanor is defined as, quote, ill behavior, evil conduct, fault, mismanagement. In law, an offense of a less atrocious nature than a crime, close quote. So that pretty much unpacks the whole impeachment part of our Constitution. Now, let's go a little deeper. Let's consider treason first. It is listed first because betrayal of one's own country is the most heinous crime a person can do to their country. Since in our country the people are the country, it would also be a heinous crime against or betrayal of the people. The definition is self-explanatory. A lot of people are using it wrong. Since the clause includes the words, quote, and other, close quote, The meaning of high crimes also applies. Now, putting the definitions of high and crimes together, we get any capital violation of a law, rule of moral duty or implied duty within a law through omission, neglect, or commission, or any wickedness, iniquity, wrong action of their duties that go against the state. Close quote. Today, misdemeanor is more associated with lesser crimes. Going back in time and reading what our founders would have meant shines a light on exactly what it means. In the late 1700s, it meant lesser crimes. However, it also meant, quote, ill behavior, evil conduct, fault, mismanagement, which basically means bad character. So, let's re-roll it and summarize the impeachment clause. The House can impeach the President, Vice President, federal judges, and others for anything from bad behavior through any crime up to and including treason. That's it. This is part of the checks and balances. The Senate has only one option if they convict, and that is removal from office. This is part of the checks and balances. After that, if a crime is involved, it falls upon law enforcement and the judiciary to take it up. It used to be, for the most part, presidents, judges, and other officials comported themselves as if impeachment were to start tomorrow. Oversight was not feared as it is required of Congress by the Constitution. That is a good thing. That is how it should be. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll see you at the next YATCast. Are you enjoying the YATCast? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/YATCast. That's https://www.patreon.com/YATCast.